On the way to the Conference USA Football Championship, why not stop on down at the Lone Star State and pull off an upset of the SEC? MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, fulfilling your request, Beast, with a preview and prediction on UAB's trip to Kyle Field to take on Texas A&M. The Blazers have won a division championship in Conference USA. They will play in the conference championship game in a few weeks at 9-1 overall, 7-0 in the conference, taking on Texas A&M, 6-4, 4-3 in the SEC. The Aggies we talk about so much on a near-weekly basis here at MarkRogersTV as a prominent member of the SEC, head coached by, of course, first-year head coach Jimbo Fisher. Let's focus more on UAB, the Beast's favorite team. This proud football program was established in 1991, has an all-time record of 118 wins, 151 losses, and 2 ties. That includes 2 bowl appearances. But let's get to more recent history, more poignant history, and a remarkable story about a football program beloved by its alumni, by the fans, by the students, and embraced by a community and brought back to life. All right. UAB defeated Southern Miss 45-24 in the final game of 2014, walked off the field as a 6-6 football team, earning another postseason bowl berth. But just a few days later, the administration chose to shut down the football program. And on December 2nd of 2014, University President Ray Watts announced the elimination of the program, saying that the cost of the program would be in upwards of $50 million over the next 5 years, projected, of course. And that's on top of the $20 million a year that the program apparently cost at that point. All right. In just 6 months. And I think many of us remember the outcries from the public, the students, the alumni, people that loved UAB football and embraced that university. The public outcries, the forums that were set up, the town halls that were set up, the tears that were shed, and the poignant speeches that were made in defense of this football program, trying to explain, trying to convey and communicate what this football program brings to this university and to the surrounding communities. And it was really backed up by the actions, not just a one-time demonstration, but the actions of these people after the program was shut down. So think about what had to be a huge shock, a huge hit to the community, and it would seem like a huge, unfathomable task to take on to try to bring back the program and take that into account and just think, hey, this is said and done. What an effort it would take to raise the funds, to bring back the support, to after it was just shut down and eliminated, to raise it right back up. But that's what they were able to do. Our first kudos have to go out first and foremost and beyond anyone else to the head coach here, Bill Clark. He was the head coach in 2014. Well established as a high school coach in the state of Alabama for a long, long time, going back to the early 1990s, staying with the program, not going anywhere else, staying right there, helping to raise money along with thousands of other people, $27 million in the span of 6 months, and to accomplish what these people accomplished in the span of just a half year to bring back the program and have it fully reinstated by June of 2015. Amazing work. Amazing work. And so then by the summer of 2016, the football program was back in place. They, of course, with Coach Clark's leadership, had to re-recruit an entire roster, build back the program in a very short turnaround. But by the summer of 2016, they broke ground on a $22.5 million football operations center and a covered pavilion practice field that cost about $4 million. They stepped back on the field in 2016 after missing one season, And in 2016, actually that was in 2017, after missing 2 seasons, went 8-5, finished 6-2 in Conference USA, and Clark was named Conference USA Coach of the Year, and rightfully so. I hope nobody else received any votes. Now, in 2018, Clark and company have taken this program to another level. At, again, 7-0 in the conference, 9-1 overall. The defense ranks in the top 5 in the country in 7 categories. They have been dominant. Chris Woolbright and Jamel Garcia-Williams have combined for 23 tackles for loss, and they have been amazing on defense. They have, talk about a team effort on defense. They have 10 different players that have at least 23 total tackles, nobody more than 54 total tackles. So basically, yes, they gang tackle, and their production comes from a number of guys. Let's look at the offense. A.J. Erdley is out for the season. Apparently, that's what I understand based on the research that I did. 57% passer, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 5 touchdowns rushing. Okay, Tyler Johnston has taken the reins over the past few weeks and performed admirably, but not dynamically. 55% passer with 3 rushing touchdowns, 4 TDs passing, and 5 interceptions. 3 of those came last week as UAB staved off an upset try from Southern Miss 26-23 in overtime. UAB was a 14.5-point favorite in that game and almost got upset. There are so many remarkable individual stories within this reclamation project, and that's exactly what Bill Clark has called it. And when he's been asked, why did you stick around, he has made the comment, I just must be a sucker for a good reclamation project. Well, he must have a heart of gold as well and just be a man of integrity and character to basically put on hold his own career to see through a story, a process, something that was very important, obviously, to many people there in the community. So for individual stories as well, we point out Colin Lisa. He is the leading receiver on this team with 25 receptions. He was on the 2014 team. Then, of course, they had no football program. So he went to the University of Buffalo and performed there. But when it was announced that UAB was reinstating football, he didn't stay at Buffalo. He came on back to UAB because he loves the university. And he hates the cold. But he loves the university as well, and he's got 25 receptions to lead the team. Again, not gaudy passing stats, offensive numbers out of the passing game from this team. They are rock solid in the running game, though. Where we have Spencer Brown with 916 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns. That's a school record single season, and he already has, 14 touchdowns in 10 games. So they've got another 4 games to play, most likely, here. And so he could really pad the stats. He ran for 1,329 yards last year and 10 touchdowns. And the all-time record for single-season rushing is in the hands of Jordan Hayward in that 2014 season with 1,587 yards. So needing about 600 yards with 4 games to play, Brown's got an outside shot. He's only averaging about 91 yards per game, so he would have to raise that significantly to 150 yards a game to break the school's all-time single-season rushing record. But he is number 3 on that list, again, with 1,329 yards last season. Also in the passing game, let's give credit to Xavier Ubosi, who leads the team with 5 touchdown receptions. They do have an ugly loss, but it was way back in September, early in the season against Coastal Carolina, 47-24. In trying to project what UAB is capable of doing at Texas A&M is a bit difficult. They didn't play any big non-conference games. This would be the one late in the season, but none in September to try to make any kind of comparisons. Probably the best team that they've played is Louisiana Tech, and that's the second-place team in their division, with only 1 loss in the conference, and that, of course, to UAB. The Blazers won that game 28-7. They were pretty dominant in that game. But Texas A&M, obviously, a huge step up in class. I don't know how the Aggies are going to approach this game. Of course, they've been disappointed in recent weeks. Their last effort was winning against Ole Miss at home, a game in which it was relatively close. and Treyvion Williams broke it loose with a 47-yard touchdown run to win the game 38-24 and deny Ole Miss a comeback bid. The game before, I watched wire to wire as Kelan Mondt and company, and really the defense, set the tone in this one. And Treyvion Williams as a back out of the backfield catching passes in the flat for big gainers as he broke for almost 200 yards of total offense. They led by 10 points with 7 minutes to go on the Plains. Mondt threw an interception, and suddenly a great defensive effort just collapsed as they gave up 2 long scoring drives in the final 7 minutes to lose 28-24 to Auburn. But they bounced back again at home last week against Ole Miss. They're going to have to be prepared to play, so they can't just figure, we've got LSU next weekend, we've got to run through this team and then get to LSU and hopefully finish up at 8-4 and better our bowl bid. They need to take the Blazers serious. Kelan Mondt came into this season as a scattershot passer at 51% in his freshman season in 2017. He's played much better this year at 59%. That's a significant improvement with 15 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Again, he threw the crucial interception against Auburn that turned the game around and gave Auburn the ball back to erase a 10-point lead. His best performance in regards to playing against an elite defense was in coming back against Clemson, down 2-3 scores in the second half, and playing a remarkable second half in that game and lighting up the Tigers to get Texas A&M that close to a monumental upset, losing 28-26 on a failed 2-point conversion late in the game. Treyvion Williams, I believe, is one of the most versatile all-purpose backs in the country. He's run for 1,159 yards and 11 touchdowns. The wide receivers are exceptional. They're freakish, big athletes in the mold of Christian Kirk. Not that good, not that productive, but as a group, they're extremely good across the board. Jace Sternberger, a top tight end with 38 receptions, leads the team and with 6 touchdowns. The defense ranks 25th in the nation in total defense, 37th in points given up, and consider they played Alabama on the road and they also played Clemson. So 37th in the nation in total defense against that schedule is pretty darn good. UAB, Texas A&M, I've got to make a pick on this game, I guess. I will go with the Blazers to cover. Texas A&M wins at home 34-23 over UAB. The Blazers, if they had a more substantial passing offense, I believe they could seriously pull off the upset. I don't see it happening considering their limitations in the pass game. Texas A&M is stout on defense. If this was an Aggies defense from what we've seen over the last 5 to 6 years, then I believe UAB would have they do have a legitimate shot at pulling off the upset. I would not be shocked in any way if UAB won this game. They are a 17-point underdog, and we've seen several of those win this season. But Texas A&M pulls this one out 34-23. My thanks to the Beast for suggesting and requesting the preview of UAB, his beloved Blazers, and Texas A&M right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I guess request as well.